Hello everyone and welcome to the most famous race course in the world. It's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it's Murph and it's Clindy, and we are here for another Monday night of Indy Open Top Split action. And yes, it is May, Clindy. We're here at the world's most famous race course today. We kick it all off but with a race on the road course here in Indianapolis.
Yep, and we will be running this circuit clockwise, which means we'll be making more right turns than left. Around these 14 turns at 2.44 miles, just slightly shorter than the oval configuration, but the Cathedral of Speed knows no such gaps in versatility, as this puts on just as good racing as the four-cornered rectangle that will be on in later in the month for several different 500s, fixed and open leagues, and in real life.
You know, it will be, Clindy, and something a lot of people don't realize about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as you look at the Pagoda Victory Lane, the Victory Riser podium, all of those things, the Speedway was originally planned to have a road course, and it was never built for whatever reason. I don't know. There's no real good story whether or not it ran out of whether or not the founders ran out of money, or whatever have you. But it was originally planned to have a road course. That road course didn't get built until 1999, and when it did, they brought Formula One cars here. And Clindy, I was here. I came to every United States Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I was at all of the motorcycle Grand Prix. Those were some fun races. Now, they weren't always great races. But they were definitely fun. It was most certainly an interesting. It most certainly brought an interesting and different group of people to the Speedway, and they were a really good time. I missed the Formula One races here very dearly. This is one of only 3 FIA Grade 1 circuits in the United States. The other two being Circuit of the Americas in Miami, both of which host Formula One races. So there is thought that F1 could come back. The Indy cars don't run the full F1 course, though, do they, Clindy?
Here for Indianapolis, no. They took out the banked turns at the end because the tires couldn't handle them. There's a bit of a lockout, and I don't know, the penultimate or the last race that Formula One came here, where the different tire manufacturers felt like one could withstand the banked turn speed and the other could not. So I think we had, 4 people take the grid?
It was
98 or 99?
It was the famed 6-car GP. I believe that was 2004, 2005. Somebody have to correct me on that. I was here for that race. It was 6 cars. The Bridgestone runners took the start. The Michelin runners did not. And as a result, the Michelin Tire and Rubber Company gave a lot of people free tickets for the next year. Everybody got their money refunded. Michelin, although they took a lot of heat in the days after, really did the right thing and compensated all the fans for it. And then, of course, the F1 race disappeared a couple of years later because we had built COTA. And Circuit of the Americas is a wonderful racetrack. It is not a roval. It is a purpose-built road course that is a massively awesome test of man and machine in a modern Formula One car. Whereas this, being a roval, it's got some compromises. The first sector really for these Indy cars has been, I don't want to say dumbed down, but they do bypass the most technical portions of both the first sector and the last sector. I do wish that they would run the full, Clindy, I do wish that they would run the full turn 13, which is turn 1 on the oval, because I think it gives you so much of a greater passing opportunity. I understand the need for the chicane down there for the bikes, but I think for the cars it would probably be okay.
Well, plus the bikes run this place counterclockwise, just like the four-wheeled cars do.
Yes.
When they run the oval, they turn left at the end of pit road instead of right at the end of pit road.
Yes, they do. And it is it's an interesting sight to behold to see. It's an interesting sight to behold to see the bikes come blasting through here. And those races were interesting anyway, just on general principles, because the first year and a lot of people don't remember this, but the first year was when Nicky Hayden was at the height of his powers. He had been world champion a couple of years before. He was still with Honda, and they came to Indianapolis, and there was a huge turnout for the motorcycles, and the weather did not cooperate. It was like hurricane force winds. I remember that day I set a full beverage down next to me on the bleachers. We were sitting about halfway up in what would be the Southwest Vista, excuse me, and the wind blew my beverage from 30 rows up just straight at the fence like somebody chucked it. Thankfully, it didn't go out on the track.
You're telling me that wasn't like an Uber Eats delivery or something?
No, and they measured the wind at like 60 miles an hour sustained that day, and they were trying to race motorcycles in it, and it was wild. Valentino Rossi won the race.
The doctor
was in. Hayden ran second. He fried the front tire on his Honda, trying to keep up with Valentino Rossi that day. It was a great motorcycle race. But we're fixing to have a pretty good car race here, Clindy. The grid is almost upon us. Right now, we've got the General Kevin Burrell at the head of the line, and I don't think you're surprised at all by that, are you, Clindy?
Absolutely not. Burrell and Oster, both graduates of the Pro Series, tailed closely by my teammate Hunter Engrav, who's provisionally starting third. Qualifying just ended. So a couple of pros flanked by a couple of amateurs, two of the best with Hunter and Alan Berteau there on row 2.
Yes, they are. So on that front row, we're going to see Kevin Burrell and Jacob Oster. Hunter Engrav and Alan Berteau, we're going to start in row 2. Anna Klimek, Rashad Craig, row 3. Blaze Andrich, Sophia Connell are going to go from row 4. Nadia Immel and Logan Edwards going to round out the top 10. In 11th, Olivia Hayward, Miss Excitement, is going to go from the middle of the grid. She'll share that row with Jared Wakefield in 12. Matt Taylor will go 13th. Alexander Miller, 14th. Adam Polster, that's a new name that we haven't seen, Clindy. Adam Polster will go 15th. Shady Ahmed, Evan Hurdle, Ty Keela, Thomas Van Kirk, and Nigel Honiger. They'll round out the top 20. We do have a pretty big grid tonight. Ella Spice will start 21st. Uncle Robin Glakis 22nd. Tyler Langenberg did not set a time. So that is your starting field, Clindy.
23 of the best iRacers on the planet here to rip the corners at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, road course edition. And we're going to see 37 laps of competition today, and you can expect about 23 of those laps to be done on the preferred primary black sidewalled compound, and the other remaining laps, depending on how much they stretch their fuel, to be done on the alternate red compound. You might have a few takers here at the beginning start on the red tire to try to jump ahead of the pack. It was a strategy we saw some drivers take the option of in the Pro Series event here. Anna Klimek is the first driver I see on the option or the alternate tire, whereas I believe everyone else, including Rashad Craig, Burrell, Oster, all are on the primary black. Same with Engrave.
Yeah, and there's the front of this deal. Trading Paints is just now starting to fire up the artwork for these guys. Oster and Burrell, no stranger to each other. They're on the front row. Alan Berteau and Hunter Engrav, they're going to be row 2. Row 3, here's Rashad Craig, and he's got Anna Klimek next to him. There we go. Blaze Andrich and Sophia Connell, there they are, row 4.
Good start for Sophia today. She always puts up a happy hour that lasts an hour and a half or 2 hours prior to these events. So if you want to kind of do a shakedown and see what the pace is going to look like, we had similar times in there to here. You knew that a 110 was about what you needed to qualify up front. And I actually put down a pretty respectable time. I put down a 112 flat just about. So I'd be running right around where Ty was. So 18th or 19th today.
Yeah, I think my outright best lap, and you and I have had some fun here, Clindy, together in seasons past. But I think probably my best lap is something like a minute 11 and maybe a minute 11.7 I got down to. So I'm not too awful slow. Then again, I had Jesper, Seb, Rashad, and Chris Wilhite all coaching me about how to make a fast lap here. So I had some help.
Yeah, the 2-car in this field, that's a pretty big gun you had on higher there.
Yeah,
I want to keep close eyes, though, on the, I think it'll be the inside row here. So if you look at Klemic, Andrich, and Emmel, all 3 in a row, starting on the red alternate tires. So since they're all in the same lane here at the beginning, I wonder how many of them are going to fan out and try to beat the others to the inside or the middle and cause some chaos here in the heavy braking zone of turn 1.
Yeah, you mentioned Anna Klemic, Blaze Andrich, and Nadi Emmel. There is one other car that is on the red sidewalled alternate tires. That is Evan Hurdle. He's starting 17th. So do kind of note that we are filtering through the turn 12 and 13 complex now, Clindy. We're getting ready. Well, no, they're going through turn 11. I'm sorry. So turn 11 is when they come back on the oval. Now, here's where I would differ. If it was me, Clindy, I would open this baby up and let him stand on it all the way down to turn 1 from here.
Send an email to Roger Penske. My uncle gave him a ride in a golf cart at Texas Motor Speedway the other day. I asked him to bug him to get me in a car at Iowa, but I don't think it worked.
Very good. Well, here we go. The field now under the control of Kevin Burrell and Jacob Oster. We are already going green. Kevin Burrell already on the loud pedal. The green flag is out. Barney has it. The front 5 are already single file, Clindy.
And you've got to be the fastest way through turn 1 is to phase out by the wall and hit a late break and rumble those curbs on the left side. A little bit of a checkup, but no drama so far. I think Alex Miller might have lost a front wing, or maybe it's been forgiven. Let's go back and look.
We'll keep it here. We'll go back and check Alex Miller here in just a moment. The field streaming down the backstretch. Kevin Burrell leads it. Oster, Angrave, Bruteau, and Klemic are your top 5. Jacob Oster's going to the inside of the general Kevin Burrell. Meanwhile, Blaze Andrich and Anna Klemic are going after it. We see cars locking up, going through the first time through turn 7. That is not abnormal. Cold tires, especially the cold primary blacks, they're gonna be very skittish for a lap or two. But the general Kevin Burrell is starting to pull away, and those drivers, Klemic, Andrich, and Emmel, that started on the alternate tires, Clindy, they are right together now, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, and it was Evan Hurdle, the 4th entrant on the red sidewalled tires, the option tire, who lost his front wing. So he's only rocking half a wing. He's got his right front wing, but the left front is gone. And he ran into Alex Miller to remove it.
Yeah, there we go. So there is the vehicle of Evan Hurdle. He is the Ferrari.
Oh, what a move! Alan Bertrot just sent it on Hunter into turn 1. Sorry, Murph.
Quite all right. There you see it. Alan Berteau is across, has made it past Hunter Engrav, and let's see if we can't go back and catch that, Clindy. You sounded awfully excited, so I don't want to waste that excitement.
Oh, now they're 3 wide on the backstretch. Holy smokes! Engrave gets shoulder checked off into the grass before the S's, and they're still 2 wide.
Well, maybe we're
Blaze Andrich looking on, trying to pick up 2 spots at once.
Yeah, we're not going to go back to that because the battle rages. The guys that are on those, red alternate Firestone tires, they're wanting to make it to the front. Blaze Andrich is 5th, Nadi Emmel 6th. He wants 5th, and right behind him, Anna Klemic is in 7th, and then you've got the old pro Rashad Craig. He's lurking on those primary tires. You see the you see the push to pass light up. Everybody's trying to get what they can get here, Clindy.
Yeah, and those red tires are only good for 5 or 6 laps, and then if you abuse them at all, oh my goodness, what a move from Emmel!
Nadi Emmel tries to go down the inside. Of course, that'll put you on the wrong side of the track as you get to turn 2. Blaze Andrich continues on in the 5th spot. Hunter Engrav, all kinds of problems though, trying to hold on to 4th on those blacks, and I don't know, Clindy, how much longer you can do it. Here comes Andrich to the inside into turn 7.
think Hunter's going to try to survive here at the early
Ooh.
portion of the race. He's on the better preferred strategy. Andrich slides back out. Angrave looking for any room he can get through the S's here, trying to stop the bleeding and hold off the tires behind him, which are softer and burn faster.
Now, speaking of tires, Clindy, so the strategy here we think is to be on the black primary tires for the longest that you can be. What's the fuel run, and how soon can these guys on the reds get off of those and come put the primary tires on?
So I think if you're full blast map 1 using push to pass with no draft, it's something like 21 and a half laps. If you save a little, you can make it to 22 or 23 without much concern. 24 laps or more is going to be a headache and probably a total reduction of overall pace. So I would see you'd break this into a chunk of 14 and 23 or 15 and 22.
Gotcha. And then the other thing I was going to ask, Clindy, there's always a crossover point where the red sidewalled alternate tires start to give up, and there's a crossover where the blacks become faster. Watching Anna Klimek go to the inside of Hunter Ingrave into turn 7. Can she make it? No. Hunter's going to hold the spot. What is that crossover point?
You know why, Murph? It's because that crossover point is next lap. Lap 5, lap 6 is when the tires equalize, and anything from there on out, the reds are just slower, unless you've got a good set and you really took care of them.
There we go. And we know that Andrich, Emmel, and Klimek have not been taking care of them. Hunter Ingrave goes off. He's going to give up another spot. That's Rashad Craig going through. So all kinds of trouble here for Ingrave. He's now under fire from Ohe. Miss Excitement herself. She's going to have a look.
It could have been way worse. A couple trips through the grass is not as bad as blowing off your nose or getting side pod damage. I think Hunter's just looking to put together a whole race here, make it to the end, and score some good points in the top 10.
Let's take a ride with Ohe with Miss Excitement here. She is on the black primary tires. We're going through turn number 4, second gear, right-hander. This little quick flick of a chicane. You go over the curbs, almost too much there for Olivia, but she goes over the curbs, down the back straight, Clindy, near terminal velocity, 175 miles an hour. Hard braking for the left at turn 7. That's a 90-degreer. And then the S's, 8, 9. How about turn 10? You want to get as close to over the curbs there as possible. Through turn 11, and then
Go ahead, Mark, sorry.
This is the hardest braking point on the track right here for me. That's turn 12. I always managed to brake too early there. Turn 13, and then back onto the oval for turn 14. And you've now done a lap of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. It does give you, I get more of an appreciation for the size of the facility and just how many people there are doing the road course.
Oh, Oster just about spun. Holy smokes.
Yeah, so let's get back and take a look at Jacob here.
He'd gotten within 0.2 of a second of Burrell, and he just went full send through turn 1 using a late trail brake, and then cut turn 2, put his left sides in the grass, and out the whole car kicked. 4-wheeled slide drifting, looking like Colton Herta in the rain here at Indy GP.
Yeah, it looked like to me too. He got the right sides off in the grass, and that's really easy to do. Are saddened to report that both Shady Ahmed and Evan Hurdle have both punched out of their Dallaras, so 21 cars remain. The leader, Kevin Burrell, the general, is looking back at this man, Jacob Oster, who is looking forward to Kevin Burrell. There they are. Alan Berteau is third, and Alan Berteau has a boatload of trouble coming. He's got Blaze Andrich, Nadia Immel, and Anna Klimek all over the backside of him. Rashad Craig has gone through on Hunter Ingrave. Hunter is now 8th. Oh, hey, Miss Excitement and Sophia Connell are going to round out your top 10. Do want to point out that Kevin Burrell has burned a ton of push to pass, as has Anna Klimek. Anna Klimek is the pink and beige car with polka dots back there, running in 6th.
It's deerskin, Murph.
Those two cars, Kevin's down to 168 seconds. Anna Klimek has burned 66 seconds already, down to 134, now 132. So she's really going to have to take care, kind of husband that push to pass along a little bit. Meanwhile, Alan Berteau does not want to give up that spot to Blaze Andrich.
He won't. I don't think he will. I think, look at how much trouble Andrich is having getting off the corner when he tries to push. Those alternate tires are at the end of their useful life. He's going to have to tone down his aggression if he wants to make these last another 7 to 8 laps, which is what is required to make this race on one optimal stop.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anybody do two stops unless there's damage. Right now, though, the last time through, Berteau won a minute 13.5 to a minute 13.6 for Blaze Andrich. Nadia Immel a minute 13.4. That is not what the runners on the alternates want to see. Anna Klimek has taken pretty good care of her alternates. Won a minute 12.896. She was actually the fastest car on the racetrack the last time through. But I've got to believe that the alternates are getting close to their sell-by date here.
Absolutely, and if something to keep an eye on coming down the front stretch next time, if Immel is anywhere near Andrich, Immel has been braking later and deeper into all of the braking zones than anyone else. So look for a bonsai move into one of the heavy braking zones, whether it be up here after the S's or the first turn after the front straightaway.
Well, there we go. We're going to look back off of Blaze Andrich, looking at Nadia Immel here. They're coming through turn number 11, getting ready to brake hard for turn 12, and look at how much Nadia Immel closes up on the rear of Blaze Andrich, and Andrich all over the back of Alan Berteau as well. Thank you so much to Whiplash SimCams for the pictures. We are 8 laps into a scheduled 37 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the open top split from the Indy Road Course. Here comes Andrich.
On Berteau. Andrich did a great job getting through the last sector.
Right up the inside, and let's not sleep on Nadia Immel. Nadia wants to come through here as well. Nadia Immel is going to take a look and try, if he can, to get through there. You're looking out the helmet of Nadia Immel. You don't see much in these cars, do you, Clindy?
No, you've got a unicorn horn and about, 14 to 16 inches to see 180 some degrees in front of you, and that's about it.
You know, to kind of picture it, and that shot was a great example of it. You don't get to see those perspectives very often, and we only saw it there because, frankly, Clindy, I clicked the wrong button. But, you know, a lot of, you know, when you sit in one of these cars, your eyes are essentially level with the dash. Just a little bit over the top of the steering wheel is where your eyes are. So there's not much. That's about what you see. Do want to wish everybody a happy Cinco de Mayo out there. I want to thank the Racing Line for tuning in. So, did you celebrate Cinco de Mayo, Clindy?
I had white people taco night.
Aha!
I got my ground beef from the grocery store and my soft shell tacos from the grocery store.
Andrich is just his tires are gone, Clindy. He was sideways through turns 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and he's still not done being sideways. He makes it through the chicane there, okay. But Blaze Andrich in third is, I mean, his rear tires are toast. He's going to move over and throw the block at Alan Berteau. Meanwhile, Nadia Immel's going to come through. They blink. Nobody touches. That was close.
Oh, they did touch. Their side bods came together, and they both had opposite lock. That was a little bit of a Clendy-Sendy there from Nadia Immel.
There you go. Alan Berteau will maintain the 4th position, and that's going to give some valuable breathing room to Blaze Andrich because I think he's really hurt those alternate tires. Meanwhile, Anna Klimek has clawed her way back up into this fight for the final spot on the podium. She had dropped back.
Not only that, Rashad Craig grows ever larger in the distance.
Yes, he does. There's Rashad. We'll get on board the roll bar with the Indy Alliance Racing stalwart. There he is. He's going down the front straight. Hard braking, but those are the cars in front of him, and those alternate tires have got to be about shot.
I think the open setup gives those alternate tires a little more life than the fixed set. The fixed set roasts them, or maybe it's just my terrible driving habits, in 5 or 6 laps. It looks like these are hanging on a little longer, maybe 8 to 10 useful laps, and then from here on out, the primaries will be faster because it looks like Rashad's putting down laps that are almost half a second to a whole second faster than the drivers ahead on the reds.
Yeah, he's most assuredly he's almost a full second quicker than Nadi Immel, for example, 0.8. But Rashad can't sleep. He's got Hunter Ingrav right behind him. So we'll keep an eye on Rashad Craig. The battle continues to rage for third spot. Andrich has it. Bruteau is on the primary tires, and we think that Alan Bruteau is set. We think that Alan Bruteau would be set to get back by Blaze Andrich, but all Andrich needs to do now, Clindy, he just has to hold on for 5 more laps, right?
If he wants to, he could extend the life of these reds a little longer, but I don't think that there's... The functional advantage to going long on the reds on the first stint is to make sure you don't cycle out in traffic. Because if Andrich blinks first and pits as soon as possible, he's going to cycle out back with Uncle Rob and Ellis Spice and Thomas Van Kirk. The 20, 30 seconds he lose on pit road, he'll be having to work through lappers while not lappers, but the drivers at the tail end of the lead lap who are working through the end of their first primary stint, who have much less pace than he has.
That's a good point, Clindy. These 4 cars right in a knot, and they are most assuredly the battle for position. There they are, Andrich, Bruteau, Immel, Anna Klimek. And I think Anna Klimek might be the closest to making a move out of the 4. Meanwhile, you see every so often the black and lime green car of Rashad Craig start to creep into that picture, Clindy. It won't be long before he makes his presence felt on the rear wing of the 15 of Anna Klimek.
Not at all. And if they get there before the stops commence, I don't think there will be much of a fight at all. Rashad is much, much faster than the 4 cars in front of him.
Yeah, Rashad Craig is running laps almost equal now to Jacob Oster. Kevin Burrell is the fastest car on the track, 1:12.948. Oster, a minute 13, 2:29. Rashad Craig, minute 13, 3:81. Nobody else is below that minute and a half or minute 13 and a half mark except for Hunter Ingrav, and that is just barely for Hunter. And so Rashad Craig is definitely chopping that advantage away. It was a half a second again that time over Anna Klimek, and he is probably going to be there within the next lap or 2. And then Rashad Craig is going to have a huge advantage because he's going to have open track, he's going to have light fuel, and the black tires just do not give up here, Clindy.
No, in fact, they're actually much preferred. They have less rolling resistance. So for these nice long straightaways, you actually carry higher top speed because the tires are less tacky. Basically, they're not slowing you down as much with so much friction. They're letting you go faster in a straight line. And you've got 2 really big long straightaways on this circuit to use them to great effect.
Frisky Frankie's joined us in the chat. He says, "Go Anna." There is Anna Klimek. She is running 6th. She is going to be under fire from Rashad Craig any time now. Rashad has chopped that down. He cut another 0.7 of a second into it, and he is there, Clindy. But the good news for Anna Klimek is she has held on to those reds as long as she needed to, and she can come into pit. Really, 1 more lap would be the window open. So good for her.
Yeah, and not too much of a net loss here to start with, and hopefully if traffic treats her well at the end, she can finish where she's running now, depending on her pace on the primary tires. If it's anywhere near what she had on the alts, she'll be in good shape.
There's the last lap for everybody in the field, and you can see the speed advantage that Rashad Craig has in that Indy Alliance machine. He has pulled away a little bit from Hunter Ingrav as well. Over the last several laps now, Ingrav matched him that last time through. But here's going to be the spot for Rashad Craig to do it. If he can, it's going to be down this long front straightaway into turn number 1.
I think he's too far back here. He'll probably have to do it on the backstretch if he can get through turns 2, 3, and 4 very well.
Now, Clindy, I do want to point out, I heard a long coast phase from Rashad Craig, and let's stay on board with Rashad here going down the back. But I thought I heard a long coast phase from him going into turn 1, indicating that he might be trying to stretch these primary black tires a little bit further yet.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go 25 laps on fuel, that's 1 fewer lap you have to run on the alternates. So if Rashad's set is really happy on the primaries and not so happy on the alts, or only really happy on the alts for 10 laps, getting that extra lap of fuel when it only costs you, a couple hundredths or maybe a quarter of a tenth every lap, it's worth it if you make up a second on the tire pace.
Well, there's that, and one of the tricks to getting the alternate tires to live longer as we continue to ride on the roll bar of Rashad Craig. Anna Klimek locks it up. Going into turn number 12, Rashad Craig is now there, and I would expect the pop here, Clindy.
Yeah, if he goes to the button, his dash will light up green. It'll get turned green on the pylon. He's not closing in like he's on it, but he is inching closer. And a conservative entry from Craig.
Well, he's going to try to get
really good central, really good exit. Craig is all over Klimek.
Yeah, he's going to try to make up for that. He lifted really early, rolled the center of the corner. He's going to try to get it on exit. This corner right here, turn 4, is where having those used alternate tires really hurts you because it's a loaded up corner. It requires a ton of grip. Here goes Craig. He's going to go down the inside into turn 7, Clindy.
Got plenty of room. We've tangled here before Murph, but Craig did no such thing, made a nice clean pass, and moves himself into the 6th position.
Well, see, that's the difference. When you see the red, white, and blue Indy Alliance racing car, you know that the guy behind the wheel of that machine cannot race road courses to save his life. When you see the black and green one, that guy knows what he's doing on a road course, and so a little bit different of a talent level. But Rashad...
Two quick updates. Bertrot has gotten by Andrich, who is now bolting on the black tires as he comes to pit road for his service, as does Klimek.
It is a long pit road here, especially on the road course. You have to enter, and we'll kind of show it when Nadi Emil comes in. I would expect Emil to come in any lap now because he is going to fall under the fire of Rashad Craig. But it is a long pit road here, Clindy, on the road course. You actually enter that thing as they go through turn 13. Now, you don't have to hit the speed limiter just yet, but you are slower than you would be going through the turn 13 and 14 complex back out onto the main straight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's a sharp right-hander, and then you hit the limiter at the end of that. There's a cone, and we'll show you exactly what we're talking about right here as Nadi Emil is due into the pit lane anytime. Here he goes through turn 12. And then you'll see a little access road up to your right here. He's not going to take it, but there's the access road. There's the wall, and then around the wall, about right there, there's a cone. And that's how you get into the pit lane here. Rashad Craig, Clindy, I don't know about this staying out for Nadi Emil business.
I mean, Nadi's not that slow. He ran a 13.7. Alan Bertrand ran a 13.4. 3/10 is nothing to scoff at. Like, that is not a huge deficit. You're not bleeding time. If he feels like his car is better on the soft alternate compound, get that extra lap here instead of, like, maybe he thinks he'd be running a 13.8 on the hard primary tire.
That's quite possible. I do want to report in on Blaze Andrich and Anna Klimek because they have come back out onto the racetrack. They are 5 seconds. Nadi Emil blows turn 7, so off into the grass he goes. Through goes Rashad Craig. Through goes Hunter Ingrav. We're going to demote Nadi Emil back to the 6th spot. But Blaze Andrich and Anna Klimek did a great thing. They were able to come out about 5 seconds behind Ella Spikes. Adam Polster is on the pit lane as well. Let's see if we get the dive from Nadi Emil. Here we go. So here's what I was talking about. You get this short burst, and you get a really brake hard here. But the limiter isn't until there. And then you've got to go the full length of the pit lane at Indianapolis.
And that's all 4 of our runners who started on the red soft tires accounted for, having made their first stops, with Evan getting the new wing at the very beginning and then punching out.
100%. Now, I do want to check in on our leaders, and I feel remiss, Clindy. We haven't talked about the leaders for a really long time. Jacob Oster had his wild ride. He fell back to about a second and a half. It's remained kind of that way. There's the familiar camouflage team I5G machine of Jacob Oster. He runs second. Just in front of him, the general Kevin Burrell, he leads it for Fiercely Forward P1 Docks. But those two have been the class of the field. Oster that last time through, though, chopped quite a bit out of Burrell. He was 0.3 of a second faster nearly, Clindy. And so I wonder if on the old used primary tires, if Jacob just isn't a touch faster.
They're trading lap times right now. Burrell was faster that time by. It may not be the temp of the tire. It might actually be the weight in the car. What you can do with your suspension and your shocks and the rebounds and the way that the car sits is that as it burns fuel and downforce gets applied and presses that chassis down in different areas, some teams prefer to have more downforce or, different downforce configs when the car's at a different ride height. It's something I've been trying to learn about how the car sits in stances with different weights and different parts of the car loaded up or weighted down.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can sacrifice some of that late pace race speed for early speed just by adjusting how the suspension sits all that weight.
Yeah, and a lot of work, I can tell you. I'm a lot more familiar with it on the oval side than the road, but a lot of work goes into these cars in terms of dampers, shocks, springs, things like that. You can tell just by the way we're right on board with Jacob Oster. You can tell, Jacob's car is not very happy. It is very freed up. Watch his hands. For the fans at home, watch his hands as he goes through some of these higher speed corners. It's not going to be as evident in the low speed stuff, but you see how he's cranking the wheel all the way over, Clindy, and then he's almost just, he doesn't have to turn the wheel hardly at all. There he goes. He's sliding again. Lights up the rear tires going through turn number. Lights up the tires going through 4. He's got a handful right now, Jacob Oster does.
Well, and he's doing that every lap and still putting down 12/8. So when I drive like that, I either spin out or burn my stuff up, and I go slow. Jacob can go almost as fast as Burrell while doing this and extending his tire life stint. That's why he's a pro, and I'm in the booth.
That's very true. Now let's go and get on board with the general Kevin Burrell just to kind of. I would be willing to say that I'd be willing to gamble, Clindy. There's probably a difference between the way they're driving, but Burrell, he's going to duck into pit lane. This would be early, Clindy.
Be a little early. He must have something up his sleeve or know that he has good prolonged pace on the soft alternate red sidewalled tires. Another thing to note is I was a little dubious of his pit road entry. It looked like he may have clipped that inside curb. I think you have to have all 4 tires to the left side of that curb when you enter, or to the right side, excuse me. I'm just going to go back and look. I don't see a black flag right now, so he is not being given a penalty, but that was awfully close.
Yeah, he does not get the penalty, so Kevin Burrell does not have a black flag. We're watching Jacob Oster as he circulates. Alan Berteau is in second spot. Rashad Craig is now third, and he is pulled within a couple of seconds of Alan Berteau. And so Rashad Craig doing a bang-up jog. Anna Klimek and Blaze Andrich have moved past Ella Spice, and so move Andrich to 15th. He's now got past Uncle Rob for 15th. He'll move past Nigel Honegger for 14th. So Andrich is on the charge, as is Anna Klimek. Klimek is about a second behind Blaze Andrich, or excuse me, is about 5 seconds behind Blaze Andrich.
Oster hit pit road this time by, and actually doing the math, I don't think Kevin was early. He was just in the lead the whole time. He never had anyone to draft with, and like you said, he drank up his push to pass. So Kevin Burrell probably just hit his fuel number going full burn.
He did indeed. Rashad Craig is going to stay out for one more lap, so he'll lead one. Here comes Jacob Oster, and this is going to be the race off. This is going to be the race. We'll see. Was Jacob Oster able to put down a fast enough in-lap to beat the general? Oster hits his marks. You see the i5G car. It is there on the left side of your screen, obscured by the fence. Here comes the general, Kevin Burrell, and I don't think this is going to be that much of a fight. Oster cannot get off the limiter quite yet. There he goes. Kevin Burrell goes back to the lead, and he's going to be he's going to have it handsomely, Clindy.
Yeah, he put down a screamer on his fresh reds. He put down a 1:12.232, which is better than my best lap ever here. And he had probably half a tank full, maybe even more, of fuel here.
Yes, he did. So Kevin Burrell, the general, is out in second. Rashad Craig does have yet to pit. And there's Rashad. He is coming to pit lane now. He has about a 24-second gap. Pit lane delta is about 51 seconds. So Rashad Craig is going to filter back, and he's going to slot in somewhere between Alan Berteau and Hunter Ingrab, I would think. Fifth, sixth, seventh, somewhere in there for Rashad. But the thing
His
about
times were pretty good there at the end of the stint. He might have even picked up I think he might be very close to Petro.
You know, he could be. And the other thing about Rashad Craig doing this, and we watch him go down pit road, but the other thing that we're going to, as you see Kevin Burrell go past, we do want to see where Rashad slots out, because the battle between Andrich, Berteau, Ingrab, Immel, Klimek, and Craig has been the best one on the circuit for the entire event. But Clindy, and here they come. So there's Andrich and Berteau. So he's not going to get them, but I think he's going to make it out in front of Hunter Ingrab.
Oh, Ingrab's going to go by.
Well, now you got the shortcut here, so they're going to come out pretty close. Craig on the cold reds is going to give way to Hunter Ingrab. So my point was, though, Rashad's only going to go 14 laps on those alternate tires. Hunter Ingrab's been out a lap. Blaze Andrich has been out 7 laps on his primary tires. Rashad Craig isn't going to have to go as long, Clindy, and if he doesn't have to go as long, he might have an advantage here. He might not get to that really, really awful point where you can't drive the car anymore.
Yep, but what they both want to see is Blaze holding up Alan Berteau for as long as he possibly can. If either of those drivers running currently 5th and 6th want to podium, they're going to have to get by both of them. And Andrich is the speed bump in the way of Berteau. That is at the tail end of the podium here.
Yes, he is. So there's Alan Berteau.
Snaking down the front stretch, getting defensive.
Yes, they are all the way down to the inside now. Andrich is going to fade. Berteau is going to go through, but he overcooked it through the grass blades. Andrich says, "Thank you very much." Back through turn 3 up to turn 4 they go, as they were, Clindy.
We've got a new fastest man on campus. It's Jacob Oster. He's run a 1:11.172. That is faster than the majority of drivers qualified today in this race in race pace.
Yeah, the red pace is there on the i5G machine. He was 1.3 seconds faster than Kevin Burrell that last time through, and that boggles my mind to say it. He just set a lap that is 0.6 of a second quicker than Burrell's quickest. Jacob Oster is coming. We're gonna stay here because Berteau is all over the back. But when Oster gets there, and at this pace he'll be there soon, we will flip back up to the fight for the lead. Oster just a mere half a second quicker that last time through. 1:11.9 for Burrell to a 1:11.473. Here comes Berteau again. The snake begins in earnest down the front straightaway, Clindy.
Yep, and we'll see if Petro makes the same bold move to the outside, but this time learns not to overcook it. They're drawing even through the apex. Petro's still there, almost out in the grass. Andrich tries to pinch, but nothing can stop those primary tires from stopping the alternates.
No, and Alan Berteau was always going to win that fight. Meanwhile, that's allowed Hunter Ingrab, who he picked up nearly 2 seconds. Rashad Craig did pick up 2 seconds on these two that last time through. Those cars are coming on their red alternate sidewall Firestones. Meanwhile, Oster has it below a second. He is there on Kevin Burrell.
Let's tune in on the fight for the lead and see which one of these two black and colored cars will make it to the top step of the podium. Will it be yellow and red or green and gold?
Oster on the button in the draft down the front straightaway. The i5G setup appears to be a little bit better tuned on the red tires than the P1 Docks machine of Kevin Burrell, the Fiercely Ford cars. Sponsored by P1 Docks, of course. There's Burrell. He's sliding it through.
And it may be more than just the setup. It may be the draft as well. We saw that Oster was sliding through a lot of the corners. Maybe his car is trimmed out with very minimal drag. It's a very low downforce setup. And so when he gets in the draft, his car just becomes an absolute rocket ship.
Well, watching him on the red tires, we're on board with him now, Clinty. Watching him on the alternates, he doesn't seem to be having near the grip issues that he was having on the primaries.
He's there, Murph.
He's going to get by. I think you're right. I think Oster is carrying a lot less downforce than Kevin Burrell, and it's just a matter of time. The question is going to be, once Oster gets out there, is he going to be able to hold it? And are those red tires going to last if he is truly carrying a lot less downforce? Here he comes down to turn 1. He fakes it to the inside. Think better of it. Follow Kevin Burrell. One more set of corners, but all over the gearbox of Kevin Burrell.
As the old adage goes, it's one thing to catch them, an entirely different thing to pass them. Oster has caught, but will he pass Burrell? He's been sliding through corners all afternoon. Let's see if he can take his i5G machine and not break traction when he attempts this pass coming into the S's.
Here he goes. He's going to make the lunge down the inside at turn 7, locks up the left front. Burrell's going to try to switch back to the left. Doesn't quite get the job done, but now there's another plot twist, Clindy. If you look up ahead, we've got Uncle Rob. And Robin Glakis has entered the chat. Does that help or hurt Oster here?
Honestly, with how fast Oster got around Burrell with the draft, it might help. He'll just slingshot by him on the backstretch, I would assume. I think the delta is big enough that he'll catch him there. Oster lights up the push-to-pass button here on the front stretch, maybe to catch a whiff of draft from Uncle Rob. Burrell is too far back to mount a counterattack. I think Oster is going to be driving off into the sunset.
If he's able to keep those red sidewalled alternate Firestones under him. Remember, Clindy, we saw him at the end of his primary stint. That car was not a happy camper. It's going to it's going to be a rocket ship with the sticky alternates on, but is it going to last? That's my question.
That may be the concession they made in their setup, is to be kind of out of control on the primary tires, which are preferred, but then get a lot out of the alternates for longer than anyone else. I don't know the magic wizard spells that they cast on these cars to make them go so fast, but it has to do with clicking a lot of buttons and doing a lot of smart stuff. And I'm real bad at one of those two things.
I'm really bad at all of it, but I recall in the testing that ran up to the Pro Series when we helped out Kevin Burrell and Luis Nunez and those guys last year, there are, just like Road America has two distinct philosophies, Clindy, Indianapolis has two very distinct philosophies. Most of these fast guys, they're going to have a low downforce configuration and they're going to have a high downforce one. And depending on the weather, that's going to dictate which one you choose. Right now, 84 degrees in the air, 114 in the track. It could be Kevin Burrell's gone for the high downforce setup and Jacob Oster the low downforce one. Meanwhile, Jacob has now caught Uncle Rob, and that's going to tow him along, save a little bit of push to pass for Jacob Oster, and see if he can't get through here.
We've got a 3-car fight brewing for 4th. Andrich is now holding off the likes of Engrave and Craig, who are both on the alternate tires, the reverse strategy of Andrich.
Yeah, so Blaze is, and they're relatively fresh. They're relatively fresh alternates too. 7 laps on Engrave, 6 laps on Rashad Craig. Andrich has been out 13 laps on the primaries. Of course, that doesn't matter as much. But last time through, Andrich 113.1, 113 dead for Engrave, 112.9 for Rashad Craig. There is another car, the old Narc Brain. He's 5 seconds back, but he's 0.3 of a second quicker than Rashad Craig at the moment. So kind of.
And that's all clean air.
Yes,
Logan Edwards has nothing protruding his spoilers except for lots and lots of downforce from all of the oxygen, nitrogen, and other assorted gases that get to press down on his car.
Yeah, he's enjoying the clean air back there. I do want to thank everybody that's tuned in to the P1 Broadcasting telecast of the Indy Open Top Split from Indianapolis. If you haven't already done so, make sure you smash the like button on the video. Ring the bell to subscribe to the channel. Clindy has yet to paint his car, although I think that we might have one of those coming, Clindy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned last week, it's really, I don't know the trick to see all of our subscribers on one spreadsheet. I can only see like 300 of them at a time. I will try to fix that. I kind of want to have a fair draw to make sure we get anyone who is eligible to be on there. If not, I'll pull 10 names out of a hat the next time I can get interviewed, and I'll get them on there.
There you go. But do want to thank everybody who's helped us make it to 1,000 subscribers. Again, if you haven't done so, make sure you ring the bell before you leave. We've got a full slate of action really upcoming this week, Clindy. Some big races here on the P1 Broadcasting Channel. You've got, of course, tonight kicks off Indianapolis week with the Indy Open here on the road course. Immediately following this, you're going to hop in the P1 jet to head to the
Louisville.
Yeah. Where to, Clindy? I'm sorry.
I guess it's Louisville, Sparta, Kentucky. The ISRA, we're at Legacy, Kentucky.
Legacy, Kentucky, and that'll be a fun one. So Clindy will be off to do that at 9:30. Gary Godso will have the call on there. Tomorrow night is one of the biggest races that you'll see of the season. It's the Indy Oval Top Split. It is from Indianapolis. It is on the Oval. I would be willing to bet you, Clindy, the strength of field sneaks above 6,000 for that race.
6,000 is a high task, a high bar to clear when we'll have 30, probably 27 to 29 cars in the field. It might be a high 5. I think it'll be like a 5.8 or a 5.
It depends. It depends. I think you might have a chance at cracking 6, depending on how many they take it. So that'll be tomorrow at 8:15. Don't miss that. That is must-see TV. The Horizon INDYCAR Series will have their finale on Wednesday night. That will also be from Indianapolis. And then on the 9th, and so the 9th is Friday night. Is it Friday night? Friday afternoon, we'll have the IndyCar, the iRacing INDYCAR Series here from Indianapolis, Friday at 4. And then the big one, Clindy, the 2025 Indianapolis 500 Fixed Setup Series. That's going to happen Saturday. I believe Gary has said we're doing, which race are we doing?
I believe we are doing, I can't recall. We don't want to compete with the iRacing broadcast, so we're doing whichever one they're not doing.
I think we're doing.
So we might be doing the Sunday.
I think
Sunday split. I think.
I think.
Or is it the Friday night? I think we might be doing Friday night.
I think we're doing Friday night. Saturday afternoon is the iRacing official broadcast. At least that's according to our latest information. And then I think we might do another one on Sunday morning. But it'll be Friday night will be the big show here at P1. That'll be Gary Godso, Ryan Eric King, Rick Ravon may sneak into the booth. I may sneak into the booth, Clindy, if I don't sneak onto the racetrack. We'll see. I still have to set a time as we get to 4 laps to go. And so that's going to be my
time. Qualifying just opened, brother. Opened at the same time this race went green, so you can run that every hour on the hour, unlimited attempts until the races start on Friday evening. So you've got 4 days and some change here to put down 4 screaming laps in the fixed setup, and apparently hot and dynamic weather.
Yeah, and do want to point out, Kevin Burrell has gotten back by Jacob Oster to retake the lead. It's kind of as I suspected, Clindy. That i5G machine is a rocket for about 5 laps, and then it has no downforce. You can see Jacob, we're on his roll hoop now, fans, and he is sliding that car as hard as it can be slid. I don't think the steering wheel was pointed in the same direction of the turn at any point through that 12, 13, 14 complex just now, Clindy.
Yeah, I really expected Jacob to be able to hang on to it better in clean air, but he is really all over the place. And now it's Burrell who's going off into the sunset, and he's got a big old stack of cash he just robbed from the bank saying, hey, thanks, I'm going to go make a deposit. Yeah,
we're gonna stay on board Jacob Oster here. I'm going to throw up the telemetry just because this is almost like watching Brian Herta navigate Indianapolis in the rain on slicks. That car is not happy, Clindy.
Well, I mean, I'd be pleased as punch to run second, especially to Kevin Burrell.
I would be pleased as punch to be in the same field as Kevin Burrell, let alone run second to him. But watch, my goodness, this car has no grip. It's almost.
Well, I guess we'll get to ask him here in a few laps, just a couple, to say, hey, Jacob, does it have too much or not enough grip, or are you trying too hard? Because, you know, sometimes it could be little of A, little of B. But I know Jacob's real smooth most of the time. He's
very smooth. Like me, he also enjoys on the ovals running the very top, right next to the fence. So you can always count on Jacob being in the high line. But there he is. We'll get up and give the general his due, Kevin Burrell. But not before we take a look at this. Naughty Emil in 8th. Oh, hey, Olivia Hayward in 9th. And you've got Anna Klimek in 10th. They've been after it for the bottom part of the top 10. And it looks like Anna Klimek is going to make the move on Ohei here.
Side by side drawing towards turn 1. Klimek has the inside line, but Ohei will be better set up for turn 2. Ohei on old reds. Klimek on fresh black tires. Almost coming to grief there through 2. Klimek drives away with it. I think Ohei has lost this fight.
Yeah, I think Ohei's tires, the sell-by date has passed. They are the alternates on the number 8 have expired. As far as other battles on the track go, there aren't really any that are necessarily close. You've got the Bruteau-Andrich-Craig battle here for the last spot on the podium.
I think this might get spicy on the last lap, Murph. Andrich is much, much faster than Petro.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second worth last time. And you've got Rashad Craig lurking back there. He's just as fast as Blaze Andrich. They are trying to get back through Alan Bruteau. Bruteau weaves down the front stretch. Meanwhile, Kevin Burrell has pulled out to nearly a 4-second lead. So the lead is not in question here, Clindy.
Not only that, he's got about 20 seconds on these folks running in third. So Kevin Burrell really put the hurt on them today, and he'll take a well-deserved record flag here as he works through the last section of the racetrack.
He will indeed. Blaze Andrich is there on Alan Bruteau, right up the gearbox now. We'll see if the man in the number 5 can get past the 3 car of Alan Bruteau for the final step on the podium.
And he has one good braking zone left. And if he has more push to pass than Allen, he'll use it down the front stretch.
Not quite there. Bruteau did a great job of fading that to the inside. Shut him off is Blaze Andrich going to have time for one last run. Now this is a grip corner here. If Bruteau's reds are off, he won't be able to have any. He won't be able to go as quickly through there. But Bruteau is going to hold him off through the yard of bricks. Great finish there for the final step on the podium, Clindy.
Yep, Craig comes home 5th, Angrave 6th, Logan Edwards 7th, Naughty Emil wins the fight for 8th, Klimek 9th, Hayward 10th, Connell 11th, an uneventful day for her. Put a lot of effort in to have one of those finally, so congratulations to Sophie. Made it home with all 4 fenders on the car. Matt Taylor 12th. Alex Miller came home 13th. Tyler Landenberg just hit the strips for 14th. Nigel Honegger for 15th. Wakefield for 16th. Tykeela is going to hold off Thomas Van Kirk for 17th. And Van Kirk will come home 18th. And that'll be all your cars on the lead lap.
Yes, it will. There's your top 10 again. Burrell, Oster, Bruteau, the podium. Andrich and Craig round out the top 5. Hunter Ingrave is going to be 6th. Logan Edwards 7th, and Naughty Emil 8th. Anna Klimek comes home 9th. And hey, Olivia Hayward, Miss Excitement, is going to be 10th. In 11th, Sophia Connell, Matt Taylor brings it home 12th. Alexander Miller 13th. Tyler Langenberg 14th. Nigel Honegger is 15th. Wakefield, Tykeela, Thomas Van Kirk are the last cars on the lead lap. Robin Glakis, Uncle Rob finishes a lap 19th, and Ella Spice is going to come home 20th. In 21st, Adam Polster, 22nd, Shady Ahmed. Evan Hurdle is going to be classified as shotgun on the field, 23rd here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, and Evan punched out after he had that lap 1 drama, losing his wing, and Shady Ahmed just pulled over on lap 2 or 3 without any drama and just punched out. Had enough. Said, this is not the place for me to be right now. Maybe he had a pizza delivered or needed to take his dog on a walk. Real life comes up. Not everything in the world is more important than sim racing, even though I would love sim racing to be the most important thing in the world.
And we know that you would, Clinty. Let's see if we've got anybody in the waiting room down here. No Alan Bruteau, but there's the Aston Martin Red Bull painted number 3 of Alan Bruteau. If he comes to the booth, we would be more than happy to interview him. Let's go ahead and pull Jacob Oster up here. Jacob, you've got Murph and Clinty in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys.
I'll tell you what, that car was a rocket for about 5 laps, and it appeared to be a handful thereafter. Not enough downforce?
Not enough higher. This was built for a race in September that had about 30-degree Fahrenheit lower track temp, so
Ooh.
I really didn't want to make the effort to change it, and it was fine on the primes, and it was fine on the reds I did. It went once, and it never came back.
Gotcha. That was I had not suspected that, but I thought maybe you had a little bit less downforce. It was fast, though, while it lasted. Clinty, what do you have for our second place runner today, sir?
Jacob, I just wish I could handle a car like you do. The fact that you could take something that was set up for totally different temps, put down the times you did, pass Kevin and almost hold him off, and hold on to that car every time it got sideways, it is insane. I know that you probably sharpened that knife getting ready for the Pro Series and going against the best in the world, and then you used that setup today. I mean, how many hours do you think it took you to get to where you were to put the hurt on the rest of the field like you did today?
Well, I definitely got a lot of stuff to work on still. I need to learn how to pass again. I kind of forgot how to do that whenever I was trying to pass, and that was not a good attempt all 3 times. But, we built the set back in Indy. This is before we knew a lot of the stuff we figured out over the course of the season, so it's a very raw set, which is mostly the reason why it fell apart at the end. I got home from work and was like, oh, I know I got a good car here, and just wanted to go ahead and give it a shot, and I haven't ran open in a while, so it's nice to get back in the swing of things for the month of May and, put some hours back into the speedway.
Well, we're glad.
You definitely looked right at home. Go ahead, Murph, sorry.
I was going to say you looked right at home. We're glad to have you. It's good to see you, Jacob. Good to have you drop into the interview booth. As is the tradition here, friends, family, sponsors, shout-outs. The floor is yours, my man.
Well, I don't want to thank Jason Brophy for sitting there and watching me and chastising me, but he did a good job telling me what was going on. And I guess everyone at I5G yeah, he is, and everyone at I5G for all the support over time. We got a big month coming up, and it's a little bit different for us this year, just how everything has gone in all of our lives, but we're still going to give it a shot and see what comes out the other side in 2 weeks from now.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing you on the track, Jacob. Heck of a run tonight to second place. Enjoy the middle step. Say hi to Brophy for me, and we'll catch you later, my friend.
All right, will do. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. It is Jacob Oster. He's going to be He's going to bring it home in second, and the man of the hour is going to be the General Kevin Burrell. Now, there he is. So the General comes off of mute. Jacob gave you a bit of a scare there for a minute. He got by you, but then it appeared as though the shoes ran out of sole.
They really did. It's kind of crazy to me, obviously, because I spend a decent amount of time thinking about setup stuff, and I get that what happened is that he ended up, being more aggressive. When he came in from the pits, 1, it was a lap later, and 2, he was just gaining really fast, half a second a lap. I'm like, okay, well, when he passes, it's over. But I think once his rear slid at all, it just never came back in the slightest. And with no confidence through the first sector, I managed to get it back. But that's crazy to me. My wear is not that rapid. So, it's crazy.
Clindy?
Sorry, Murphy might have cut out there, but yeah, Kevin, way to have a measured pace and a good cadence today. You just really bided your time, and when Jacob made that send going into the S's, it kind of looked like you were trying to do a crossover, but couldn't
Yeah.
make it stick. Was
Yeah,
that
it was
your
pretty
thought
close.
process? I'll let him go
Yeah.
and get him with a switchback, or what was your plan of attack?
I wasn't sure. I mean, it looked like he was, even in my rear mirror, it kind of looked like he was starting to slide around a little. That I think, once it's very easy to lock up at that corner, or just drive off the track when you're passing someone. And once I saw that, I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to try and send it back through immediately, because if he had enough pace at that point to gain so much on me a lap, there's no point in trying to fight it. But then the lap or two after that, once I saw every time he was really struggling in the first sector, I was like, well, actually, Brophy came into my chat and was like, his tires are dead, dive bomb him. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to put it directly that way, but we'll see what happens.
We were talking with Jacob about how helpful Jason Brophy is sometimes. He really is.
Yeah, very healthy. Maybe helpful. Maybe not the man you want to have making your pit call, but other than that, or giving you advice on a safe pit entry. But other than that, yeah, definitely.
I took his advice in the Indy Elite 500, wound up with a speeding ticket, and it cost me a chance to win a race. So, but
classic.
Yeah, it's we've all been there, and we've all done it. So this leads into a couple of weeks where we know it's not your favorite thing, Indianapolis. We gonna see you on the oval, or you gonna?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be running. I'm definitely running open. Fixed. I am hearing all sorts of crazy things about the fixed 500 qual, like dynamic sky is turned on. So I guess we'll see if, people's runs from today even end up counting at all. I'm gonna try and make the fixed race this year too, at least one of them. So who knows? Maybe depending on the situation, you guys will even get a guest appearance from me in the booth. We'll see. So, I mean, I definitely want to. I think the fixed race set this year is pretty good. So, and I mean, at the end of the day, even if it's not my favorite, that doesn't mean it's not something that I need to improve on and get it together with. So, I mean, I have no excuses in open this year at all. Not that I really ever have, but I really don't now. And I don't have any excuses in fixed either. So I'm gonna try.
Yeah, well, we look forward to seeing you, and hopefully we get you back on the old podium here. And
of course.
With that said, friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. The floor is yours, Kev.
Thanks. Yeah, of course. Grizzly Forward guys, P1 Docs. Everybody actually ran just straight up the shop set today. It was felt really good already, and I tried to change things, didn't work at all. So. And yeah, of course, my parents who are probably watching. So yeah, see you guys. Have a good one. Cheers. Thanks as always.
Absolutely. That's Kevin Brell. He is tonight's winner. And Clindy, we had a lot of times this racetrack can be pretty processional. Tonight, though, it was not. It was very much a race that had a lot of contested spaces throughout.
Well, that's mainly due to the boldness of our competitors this evening. A lot of them took the choice to start on a sub-optimal strategy, but it paid off for them. Almost all of them gained spots by switching tire compounds alternate to what the preferred method of thinking was. So everyone who started on the reds tonight, we salute you for giving us an interesting race and executing well. And all of our competitors had a very clean race. We had one small incident in the first corner, and other than that, no real contact, no real drama throughout the whole field. So well done to our competitors this evening.
Yes, well done to our competitors. I do also want to send the thanks out to everybody who watched, everybody who's still watching. Another awesome group in the audience tonight for the Indy Open Series. This does start the biggest month of the year for the P1 Broadcasting channel. If you haven't already done so, as a reminder, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell to subscribe to the channel. We have not one but 2 weeks of Indianapolis 500s. Qualifying is ongoing. The Oval Series is here tomorrow with their biggest race of the year. You've got the Horizon INDYCAR Series finale on Wednesday. This is going to be a ton of fun, Clindy. I'm here for it. As always, we do want to thank all the people who do the hard work at night so that we can get a chance to do this for fun and lay our heads on the pillow is in peace. The military, the police, the firemen, the first responders, all of them, the EMTs, the nurses in the emergency room, all those people who do those things so that we can do what we do. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Clindy, go race.
Sir, yes, sir. I'm at Kentucky now.
See you next week, everybody.